Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ayurveda for all seasons. How are you? Happy Friday. I am here with Dr. Shiksha Thakur. She has just joined us, so I will bring her in just a moment. Let me make sure that I am live. I am checking here. Facebook, and yes, I am live. Okay, so head over to Ayurveda for all seasons if you're not there yet. I'll be going on in just a moment here with Dr. Shiksha Thakur to talk about summer nutrition and what we know and what Ayurveda teaches us about staying balanced throughout the summer. So let me give you a couple of insights here on who we're bringing in today. So, Dr. Shiksha Thakur is an Ayurvedic doctor, and her business is Uplift with Ayurveda. So beautiful, right? So she is an Ayurvedic doctor, a yoga instructor, a licensed massage therapist, and she's a professional member of the National Ayurvedic Medical Association, NAMA. And she's been a speaker in the NAMA conference many times. And she's having her practice, I think she has like over 12 years experience doing panchakarma as a therapist and other clinical therapies that bring in Ayurveda into the well-being and balance of the whole person. So she is well-versed in many different therapeutic modalities: myofascial release, cranial sacral therapy, trigger point therapy. She also holds her bachelor's of Ayurvedic science from the Sri Sri Ayurveda College in India. And she is also an expert in pulse diagnosis, very important in Ayurveda, because when you take the pulse, you're able to detect issues and disturbances down to the organ level before they manifest as disease. So it's a very good way of preventing, a good way of using prevention in these holistic modalities. She's an expert in Vedic cooking, and this is why we have her here today to talk to us about nutrition for the summer, staying balanced in the summer. And she also has been oh my goodness, it's like she's just so amazing. I can't wait to bring her on. She's here. So just to wrap it up here, she loves her nature walks with her daughter and gardening, music, and always trying new recipes. So I'm so excited to bring Dr. Shiksha on. Here we go. Hello, doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure coming here. Thank you so much.
Can you tell us a little bit about where you are? You're out in California, right?
Well, no, I'm in Seattle, Pacific
Oh,
Northwest.
you're in Seattle. Okay. Yes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we moved here like 5 years ago, and Seattle is like amazing. It's because, because of Seattle, I'm in love with nature walks and hikes. Every weekend we go out, and summers are the most beautiful season in Seattle. It's just blessed with the greenery and like the nature, flowers and everything. So yeah, it's yeah, cold most of the times, but when it's summertime, it's at the peak beauty. So yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I'm so happy that we were able to bring you on to talk to us about this topic, because we are in that transition period now where spring is segueing into the summer. And so I'm going to pass the baton off to you and let you tell us about what we can do to stay balanced using nutrition. What are the spices we can use, and what foods we should bring more into our life, and what foods we need to stay away from?
Yeah, yeah. So, summer is like, I think, a favorite season for most of us, isn't it? Like, because we get summer breaks, kids are free, and like, we have more of family time, vacations, and everything. At the same time, summer is in Ayurveda, it's mentioned that, it brings like a big change in the body. So, we are transitioning from cold towards, spring season, and then entering into summers, and it is marked with a little bit high in the pitta, right? Pitta is the energy which is heat or warmth. It's really hot outside, Most of the places, I would say, are also sometimes humid, like the coastal areas like Florida and Southern California. They are pretty like warm and moist in the outside. But in general, summer, also because of the heat, it brings dryness in the body. So
Mhm.
there are obvious changes which you can notice related to dryness, also like vata imbalance as well. So it's basically both pitta aggravating, and at the same time a little bit slightly vata aggravating as well. So those who
Not
have
in Florida. We're so humid over here. It's like, yeah, not as much in Florida, but yeah, in drier climates,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So we need to be very careful about what food we should pick up, or what kind of spices or oils in general, or what kind of practices we are, like if you're doing yoga or you're doing dinacharya practices, we have to bring some change in that as well. So I'll share whatever knowledge I have and with my experience from my clinical practice. And
Great.
please feel free to ask something if you feel you want to discuss and will be useful for our audiences. We can also kind of talk about it. Maybe I'll share like a couple of recipes in the end.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Why don't we start with the go-to foods that you recommend that really balance the pitta dosha for the summer?
um, Most importantly, food which is cooling.
Hmm.
Again, it doesn't necessarily be ice cream or frozen food from the fridge, but food which is cooling in nature. It like the potency should be cold, um, and it has to be kind of sweet taste, astringent taste, and bitter taste. Those kind of vegetables and fruits are favorable for the body. They are in general good for pitta. Um, and Most importantly, I would say the tagline is go with the flow with the season. Ayurveda's main and motto is to follow the nature, right? So if it's really hot outside, we anyway our agni is a little bit depressed because our body is always trying to cool, the outer layer of the kind of our skin and the body. So our agni is kind of weak and we cannot load it with a lot of heavy food. So eating small amount of food in regular interval of time, it has to have a little bit like more liquidy food, maybe soups, juices, sometimes raw food also like salads, fruits. They're all favorable during summertime.
So the Agni is considered weaker in the summer.
Yeah. Agni is considered weaker in the summer. If you notice, starting from our Thanksgiving, the meal, isn't it like it's an elaborate meal? It's like so much heavy food that we eat, and we can digest also because at that time, winter time, our Agni is very, very strong. So we can even digest heavy food like, cheese and those things. But as we enter towards the summertime, our body needs to, so that's why we do spring cleanse, so that our agni gets adjusted
Mm.
during spring to kind of be able to be strong enough to kind of digest anything like whatever we eat during summertime. So yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, great. And is there a reason for that? Is there a reason why the Agni gets weaker? Because you would think it's hotter, right? And so there's more heat. And so
Yeah.
wouldn't that like spark like kickstart digestion or increase the fire, which is what the digestive process is about? Can you tell
Yeah.
us how that
It's
works? Why would it
very
get
interesting that if you see, if there is a it's very hot outside. If you are in Florida, right, it must be
yeah.
really hot and dry outside. So when you go out, when you step outside from your AC car, do you you feel that wave of heat in your body? So that basically your body is always trying to cool itself down. It's like a natural mechanism. And when that is doing, that is its main job. So, that is a priority. So it's like the second, it will put it in the second step, the digestion goes in the second step. Like it's not the priority for our body. So it's always it's always better to give some rest and light food during the summertime. But yes, you can eat properly in the winters, like you know. So yeah, that is how it is. And if you notice, people who are pitta body type, they feel really like, exhausted during summertime. Though pitta body type is supposed to be having very good agni, isn't it? But that's they are the ones who really suffer or feel very exhausted, weak, and dull around summertime. Like if
Mhm.
you go out without a hat, or the sunglasses, I mean, it's like they cannot take heat at all. Like the direct sunlight is very irritating for them. Also, they might get skin rashes, redness and all those things. Yeah.
Oh,
So
those pitta like conditions. So yeah, so that's really interesting then. So because your body is trying to cool off, your digestion is dampened or like depressed, as you said,
yes, yeah,
and because of that, we need to help our digestion a little bit more with
yeah.
things like eating lighter foods to
Yeah,
kick
and
more
also like the spices which are more carminative, that is that they are
digestion.
kind of, they stimulate the agni, like
Mhm.
cumin, coriander, simple as cilantro, fresh cilantro leaves. They are all like, they're rich in increasing and stimulating the digestive fire, also breaking down the food easily. So it helps in providing that platform for the agni. It supports the agni basically. So we can use those spices wisely. And mainly we have to avoid things which are aggravating pitta, like hot
Mhm.
spicy food, oily food, like old cheese which is like too sour, and what else, like red pepper, sandpaper, those kind of things which aggravate heat, or too much of processed food also, like too much of salty food and canned food can also be avoided, because they all suppress the agni.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, so I always knew in the summer you want to avoid the hot spices because that will aggravate the pitta, but we still need spices because, as you said, the digestion is actually
Kind of
cooling
weak,
down.
yes.
The body's naturally trying to cool down, so
Yeah.
then that's going to affect digestion, which needs heat.
Yeah, yeah. So, cooling spices, which are very good for our digestion, that we can use in general. Anyone can use it for the during for their cooking. Is as I said, cumin is one of the, like, basic go-to spice. Then fennel seeds,
Mhm.
coriander, and I also like maybe a little bit of turmeric, not too much, because again turmeric is a little bit warm. So these are the three main, and of course pink salt, Himalayan salt. They're all very good for agni. So in everyday cooking, we all can use these simple spices.
Okay, so the fennel, the turmeric, the coriander, and the Himalayan salt.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent
And
for
on
the
the top, you can add like freshly squeezed lemon, some cilantro, chopped
Mhm.
tomato. I also like some, what do you call it, like zucchini and cucumbers. Like it makes like a salad, and it's really good for your agni.
So give us that. What would be like a good recipe? Zucchini.
Yeah, zucchini, tomato, some mint leaves, freshly chopped mint, maybe some celery, like those things. And also, if you can add in some proteins, like you can just add some boiled mung, like mung beans, or
Mhm.
overnight soaked mung beans, or garbanzo beans. They are also cooling during winters. You can use, summers, you can use them in your salad. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Also, basil is also cooling, so
Mhm.
that can also be added.
Great, great. Yeah, so okay, so that's great. And what would be what hot spices should people really try to stay away from in the summer?
Yeah, spices which are pitta aggravating, as I mentioned, like dry ginger. You can use fresh ginger, but dry ginger increases heat. Red pepper, garam masala, curry powder, those things increase heat a lot. So we'll have to stay away from that. You can use black pepper, but in moderation. Again, that is also kind of heating, so a little bit less. Yeah, those are the few spices like can be avoided.
Yeah, okay, great. And when would you say like it would be wise for us to start eating in this way? Like at what point I know if people are in different areas around the world, but is there like a time or what would you say?
Well, I would suggest that, like, depending on the zone you live in, like, I am in Seattle, and although it's kind of getting sunny, but when I step outside, I feel very cold, like, because of the cold wind. So, depending on how the temperature is outside and how your body is adjusting to it, when you wake up in the morning, if it's really hot and sunny outside, I would say, try to bring in these small changes day by day, and then maybe like by end of this month, most of the places will get warmer. That's what we are expecting. um, and in Florida and all, like, it started maybe end of February. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and and it's really we're definitely not in this heart, definitely not in the heart of the summer yet. It will be like
Yeah.
July, August will be
Yes.
really hot.
Yeah, so like last week of May to say end of August, we can all like follow these
Follow these
simple
guidelines.
changes. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we've got the summer spices that are the cooling spices, the coriander, the fennel, the basils. Um, what about licorice?
Oh yeah, licorice is also like, you get like a root powder, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they are like the Ayurvedic supplements. There are a list of supplements that can be added if you are, feeling very hot. You can make licorice overnight, soak it in a cup of water, and you can have it in the morning. If you're a pitta person and you feel that, your body is getting very exhausted with the heat, that's a very good, very simple recipe. And overnight, soaked licorice, add some unrefined cane sugar in the morning, and you can have it like as a morning drink. you
Okay.
can you can definitely have licorice. Then you can have amrut, that's also cooling. Satavari, vetiver, those are cooling Ayurvedic herbs, like brahmi. What else? Bhumi amlaki, kutki, those are cooling. So in nature, everyone can, those who are, especially who are pitta, can start taking these. Another thing that I like, so because I'm also pitta, and I also feel it's I also have to add some extra supplements during summers. So I
Mm-hmm.
like to soak like a teaspoon of whole coriander seeds
Mm-hmm.
in a cup of water overnight, and in the
Okay.
morning I just add some pink salt or black salt, which is like, it's called kala namak, and mostly black salt is available in Whole Foods and most of the general stores. um, and just in the morning, you can just add some unrefined sugar, cane sugar, and have it as a drink if you have a high pitta,
So
so
you
that's
would add the coriander seeds to a cup of water
yeah.
and leave them in overnight.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And how like a tablespoon of the seeds?
um,
How much did you say?
Maybe like 2 teaspoons are enough. Yeah,
Teaspoons. Okay.
for around 200 ml of water.
Mm-hmm. And let them soak overnight, and then you drink it in the morning like
Yeah,
a
you can
like
just
a
discard
room
the
temperature
seeds.
tea.
Yeah, you can discard the seeds and just take the water part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay, that's great. And then the salt you said for pitta, but also would be good for vata too, right?
Yes. Yeah, black salt is good. Yeah, but in like a small amount, like maybe a pinch of salt is enough.
A pinch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so then let me ask you, if you are vata, right? And so it's the summertime, you want to eat light, like you said. We're trying not to overtax the system. We want
Yeah.
the digestive system to be working properly, but you're vata. What what would you recommend for vata? Because vata in general, can get aggravated from not eating the nourishing root type of
Yes.
foods, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
recommend anything in particular for that?
So, Vata people can also do this. Like, in the morning, they can have a cup of lukewarm water, because again, that's also Vata balancing. Add a teaspoon of clarified butter or ghee,
Mhm.
and they can just have it in the morning, so that's also quite nourishing. They
Yes.
can have milk at night, milk with a teaspoon of ghee. That's also very good for vata balancing. It's also like, nourishing for the nervous system. They'll get very good sleep and feel grounded. um, so yeah, I think that those are the few things that they can, like, try. And of course, vata people can, they have to, and in general everyone should do some abhyanga, that is massaging the body every day before shower. So they can use like coconut oil, which is again very cooling. It's a natural sunscreen as well. They can just take some coconut oil. Even pitta people can do that,
Yeah.
So, sunflower or coconut are kind of mild and cooling oils. They're neutral oils. So
Yes.
just a quick abhyanga before shower every day
Yes.
is also very nourishing for, I would
That's
say, for
great.
vata. Yeah.
And I love like sweet almond oil for
Yeah.
pitta, sunflower oil for pitta also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like sunflower too. Like it's very smooth and like very nourishing. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
you can
that's
add
great.
some essential oils if you like, like
Yeah. What do you
a
recommend?
drop of, yeah, maybe a drop of sandalwood and a drop of rose oil in the small portion that you're using, maybe like a tablespoon of oil that you are using for abhyanga. These
Mhm.
two are, cooling in nature. So yeah, even
Yeah.
vetiver is cooling. Yeah.
Even which one is cooling?
Vetiver, what khas?
Oh, vetiver. Yes, yes, yes. I love to tell people for pitta, like when I explain about pitta and you're trying to pacify the pitta dosha, right? Which is what we're talking about in the summer. The fire gets out of balance. So
Mm-hmm.
I liken that to like somebody who is very demanding, very frustrating, very frustrated, like is very like things have to be on point and is
Yeah,
always like, it has to be like this. And they're super regimented,
organized.
like the pitta. So I talk about when you're talking about oils to put in the mix for or a blend for someone that's very pitta, to think about you want to go with the flow, right? You want to go out there and you want to smell the roses, you want to bring in the flowers, which is
Absolutely.
he recommended the rose oil because that gets someone who's very pitta and very like that agitation and frustration. You want
Yeah.
to mellow them out.
Relax a bit. Let it go.
Let it go. It's like it's okay, step out there. I just remember always one of my teachers saying it's like go out there and smell the roses.
Yeah.
That's what you want to tell the pitta person. And that's the summer. That heat, that excess heat brings in that aggravation that
Yeah.
people feel. And it gets
That's
frustrated more so than at other times of the year.
yeah. That's so true. Yeah, they're like so control oriented. Like they want to have everything organized and perfect, and yeah.
Yes.
So they should like yeah. I mean, pitta people in general should like try to play with some aroma oils, essential oils, and like gives themselves some go with the flow time.
Yes.
Take it easy.
Or if
Take,
you have a practice and you see people that are pitta, add the oils to whatever you're doing,
absolutely. Yeah.
And what milk? Going back to what you said about vata excess, someone who's very vata and having milk at night. What milk would you recommend?
Well, I would recommend a whole milk, like regular milk, dairy milk, but they can use oat milk also, which is
Oat.
again very nourishing and grounding. Oat is also cooling in nature, so um, yeah, oat milk is a very good substitute for dairy.
Okay, so the whole cow milk or oat milk
Yeah,
would be your recommendation for pacifying vata.
yeah,
Okay, awesome. Great. So those are great recommendations, and then they can eat according to the pitta diet,
yeah.
most of the day because it's the pitta time of the year.
Absolutely. And especially like, grains, for example, barley is one of my favorite because it's cooling, it's nourishing, it's grounding, fibrous, absolutely amazing for, hormone health. Like for women, it's really, really good to have barley. Also helps in weight loss. So those who are, those who like to eat carbs and they don't want to, add on a lot of calories, they can have barley. They can have, people can have like basmati rice. Again, that's a very light and cooling. And wheat. Yeah.
Mhm. Excellent. Excellent. And then what about aloe vera for the summer? What do
Oh,
you?
yeah. Aloe vera is one of my favorites. So, like, if you have like a fresh aloe vera, you can just take some small pulp, like a little bit of it, and just make a paste of it. You can just use a fork and kind of like break the pulp. And you can also you can take it internally. You can use it as a, like something to apply on the skin as a moisturizer or as a cooling face pack. You can
Yeah.
use aloe vera very extensively. So yeah, cooling, if you want to have it, you can just add some small amount of aloe vera in the same, the overnight coriander water, and you can have it in the morning with like a
Mhm.
small, maybe 1 inch of pulp is enough.
1 inch
And
pulp of aloe vera. Okay.
yes, yeah, if it's a fresh aloe vera. The same aloe vera you can use for face pack, adding a pinch of turmeric and a few drops of
Mhm.
freshly squeezed lemon or lime. You can use it as a face pack. And if you want to, you can add some mung powder. You can get mung powder in Indian stores, or you can just make it at home. You can get like yellow mung bean and just make it a powder in the blender or spice grinder, and you can use it in that face pack. It will be like a nice scrubby face pack. Like leave it for 10 minutes and then gently scrub and wash your face.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so,
Yeah.
so you would recommend a pinch of turmeric, um, about a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of the pulp of
Yeah, yeah, that should be enough. Yeah.
aloe vera pulp, and then did you say add coriander as well?
Sorry, lemon. Freshly squeezed lemon. Yeah.
Okay,
Because
lemon.
lemon is, like it's also good for your skin because um it helps in making your dark, like some patches, or somebody has like a skin like tanning because of sunlight, they can use some lemon, so it will help in lightening those dark patches.
And yours that would be the lemon juice
Yeah,
or
yeah, you can use fresh lemon juice, yeah.
and how
And
much
some
heat?
mung powder, maybe 1 teaspoon of mung powder in this whole mixture, and make a paste. You can add some water if needed, or rose water if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Rose
Okay.
water is again my favorite. Like, I just love the mist, rose water mist. I just carry like a bottle in my bag whenever I'm traveling in the sunny days. So it's also very rehydrating and nourishing. Again, like rose helps me calm down my pitta. So yeah.
I love that. So that's great. I really I love all these like, remedies that you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
So the 1 teaspoon of the yellow mung bean powder, and you would blend it all together in you would just put it in a blender.
You don't have to actually put it in a blender because it's a very small portion, just a small, like, in a small bowl. You can mix everything with a little spoon, and you can just like use every day fresh. You can blend everything fresh every day. And after your day, like when you're spending the whole day outside, when you come back home, you can do it as your evening routine or night routine. Apply it for some time and you can wash it off. Then, take
That's
a
great.
nap. Yeah.
And then I know, we're told to be careful with adding citrus to the face. How many drops of lemon juice would you?
I wouldn't recommend more than 3 or 4 drops, like maybe
3 or 4 drops.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay, enough that would be enough to like lighten the skin, but
yeah,
not cause any damage.
yes, yes. And also, if like if there is any chances of skin irritation,
Mhm.
uh, you can always replace that with a teaspoon of yogurt, fresh yogurt,
Replace what?
lemon,
Ah,
lemon. Yeah.
okay. 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 How much yogurt?
Maybe a teaspoon of yogurt should be good enough.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful. I love that. Great. Okay. I'm
Yeah, so like
all of that.
those who have sunburn and those things, like they can use this simple remedy, home remedy.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Or just the aloe vera alone, right? Is
Oh yeah,
always good. Yeah. So
yeah,
good for the skin.
yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. Well, this has been so amazing. Is there any last tips on, food? Because I like, okay, let me just ask you this. I know like when we go into the winter times, we're supposed to eat more of those, like the sweet potatoes and all of those foods that are really grounding for us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Naturally, they're just not found as, how does nature, maybe you can leave us with this, how nature naturally gives us the foods that are right for each season. So what is plentiful in the summer?
So I would say like a lot of juicy vegetables like cucumber, then zucchini, tomatoes, and celery, watercress, maybe some cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, green beans. All these are very good. Like they're kind of fresh. Like when you break it, like there's water inside. So it's
Mm.
like, and watermelons, like those kind of fruits which are like full of water. All kinds of melons are good, and cantaloupes, those are like pulpy watery fruits and vegetables. And of course, like the vegetables which are underground, like carrots and radish, they can be avoided for some time.
They can be what?
Avoided for some time, they're kind of a
Yes,
little bit heavy.
yes, yes. Yeah, save those for the fall.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, there is one last thing that I would like to add here. That's my daughter's favorite. So you can try with your kid also. So it's something which is a summer coolant recipe, and it's very very easy to make. So
Mm.
mainly we use cumin here. You can just roast 2 teaspoons of cumin in like a small pan, and just like ground it, like you can use a coffee grinder or something to make a powder out of it, and some fresh mint, fresh coriander leaves, some lemon or lime juice, like around 1 teaspoon or 2 teaspoon, and water. You can add some ice, but I wouldn't recommend ice so much.
Mhm.
And also you can add some black salt if you have black salt, like a pinch of black salt, and some rock sugar or unprocessed sugar. So you can use that, like blend everything together, add like 2 cups of water in that. You can chill it down, and you can have it as a fresh. We call it jal jeera. Jala means water, and jeera is cumin. So it's a very good hydrating summer recipe. And believe me, every time my guests come for like a grill party or something, I make it and they love it. It's
Oh,
also carbonated, very good for their digestion. It can be like something they can have it after their meal, because it's again like we are chilling it down. So they can have it after some time, like maybe evening time or so. So yeah, like it's a very simple cooling drink for summers.
beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Sounds so refreshing and nice. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Shiksha, for these
Thank
wonderful
you.
tips,
Thank you.
these recipes. And if anybody would like to find out more, can they go to upliftwithayurveda.com? Would that be the
Yes.
place to send them?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Excellent.
Thank
Great.
you.
Well,
Thank you so much,
Shiksha,
Annette. It was wonderful catching up with you and talking a lot about Ayurvedic recipes and spices and food. Thank you so much. I hope my our audiences had a wonderful time too. Thank you.
yes, thank you. Thank you so much. We
Have
really
a
appreciate
wonderful weekend. Bye.
you too. Bye bye.